Fox Sports.
We are Black Hawks. We are San Diego.
Beautiful Phoenix, Arizona, home of the Diamondbacks, where your San Diego Padres hope to get off to a hot start and finish a long road trip with a solid series in the desert. Seth Smith, he's going to be in the lineup. He'll hit third tonight for Buddy Black. 375 average on this road trip through 7 games. He's been a 300 guy pretty much all year against righties and away from Petco. Inside Chase Field, the roof is on. The ball will jump. The Padres and the Diamondbacks. It is game 1 of a 3-game set. It's great to have you with us, everybody. Welcome to Padres Baseball alongside Mark Sweeney. I'm Mike Pomeranz, Mark Grant, Dick Enberg with the night off. So both of these teams trying to rebound a little bit. Their season's on the rails clearly. The Diamondbacks come back home after a 2-8 road trip, so they have struggled. The Padres coming off a heartbreaker last night against the Dodgers, a 2-1 loss where Tyson Ross pitched so well, but Clayton Kershaw one pitch better. And so the Padres hoping to rebound here in the first of 3 games against the Diamondbacks. Now, Arizona, a completely different-looking ball club. For that matter, so are the Padres. Arizona, Mark, Martin Prado, Gerardo Parra, gone. Paul Goldschmidt, hurt. Patrick Corbin, hurt. Bronson Arroyo, hurt. New look.
Mike, like everyone else, high expectations going into spring training. Patrick Corbin got hurt during spring training, and then the big blow was Paul Goldschmidt, in my estimation. But for Arizona, they have to get pitching, and they're not getting that. They're having opportunities for these young boys to come up and really get opportunities to showcase themselves in the big league level, and it's not working, as you can see from the ranks in the National League. Not very good.
No, so the Diamondbacks make those trades, free up some cash, and they will shoot for pitching, as Mark mentioned, in the offseason. That's Arizona's story. Now for the Padres half of this equation, Odrisamer Despaigne. He's going to get this start today. Right-hander, kind of a tale of 2 seasons for him so far. This will be his 11th start. First 5, pretty successful. Last 5, a bit less so. What's key for him today?
I think the key is being aggressive with the fastball. He has to do that, especially early in the count. Strike 1 means a lot to a lot of pitchers, but he has to work the edges but be aggressive. You sometimes see 93, 94 out of Despaigne, but we haven't seen that in the last few starts. He's been hurt early, getting hurt by the breaking ball, the get-me-over breaking ball. So look for him to be more aggressive with that fastball tonight and have much more success, especially against the NL West.
These are 2 young teams. They're both very hungry. It's going to be Yasmani Grandal who's going to catch Odrisamer Despaigne tonight. When we come back, you're going to meet the man who caught last night. He's done a great job all season long. Rene Rivera talks with Mark Sweeney about his defense and his newfound offense in his big league career. game one of a 3-game set. Let's go down to the field. Mark Sweeney and a special guest.
Thanks very much, Mike. I'm here with Rene Rivera, the catcher, last night. Rene, great game last night, pitcher's duel, but offensively, you came up with one of the biggest hits last night. You've done a great job improving on your offensive side. You're known from the catcher's standpoint, but your offense has picked up a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I've been feeling a lot better since I got here last year. Then Plantier and Alonso Power, they do a pretty good job working with me and make me the hitter I am right now. So, I just want to keep working hard, so getting better every day and help the team to win.
Rene, you talk about working hard, and that's exactly what you do. Your priority is taking control of this pitching staff. They've done a tremendous job, both the starters and the relievers. A lot of credit has to go to you and how you deal with these guys. How you feeling behind the plate?
Well, I feel great. I mean, Bolsey did the main job. They keep the guy sharp back there, but I just want to do my job back there, call a good game, help them get out, and hopefully we win the game. So, I mean, Tyson did a great job yesterday. He battled, Kershaw, one of the best pitchers in the Major League Baseball. So, I mean, I just love what I do back there, and I do with passion, and I love it.
I know you're not in there tonight, but get in there and get a big hit for us.
Hopefully, yeah.
Hey, Mike, an outstanding job behind the plate in really establishing this pitching staff as one of the great ones, working hard and doing a great job. Back to you.
And Rene's been fantastic, so as Mark mentioned, he'll be available to Buddy Black off of the bench, and hopefully the Padres can continue to hit well as they've done since the All-Star break. Josh Colmenter against Odrisamer Despaigne, Game 1 coming up. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Chase Field. Josh Colmenter to face Yangervis Solarte, Abraham Almonte, and Seth Smith to get us underway. And Solarte takes it side for a strike. Solarte hitting .263, 3 home runs, 13 runs driven in as a member of the Padres. And right back at Colmenter. Not hit all that hard, but startling just the same. He gloves it, and Solarte, soft line drive, 1 down. For Buddy tonight, Abraham Almonte will bat second. Seth Smith will hit third. Jed Jerko, Yasmani Grandal behind the plate. Jake Obert over at first base. Will Venables, the center fielder. Alexi Amarista. And Odrisamer Despaigne, the lineup tonight. Brought to you by Toyota. So with one down, here's Almonte.
Well, Mike, let's go back to that line drive on Solarte, and what beautiful hitting and reaction by Colementor. Straight up the middle. You see the knuckling action, which means he squared it up. A nice reaction by Colementor.
Picks it off the brim of his cap. Well, the Diamondbacks and Josh Colementor all intertwined as having a very challenging season. And the off-speed pitch gets past Almonte. For Colementor, doing everything they've asked. He's been a starter. He's been a reliever, clearly in the rotation. Lately, though, 0-2, 8.5 earned run average his last 4 times out. And he gets Almonte for the second out. Behind Colementor this evening, Alfredo Marte will be in left field. Ender Inciarte is the center fielder. David Peralta is in right. It's a completely different look than what they opened the year with. Jake Lamb, a rookie at third base. Didi Gregorius is the shortstop. Cliff Pennington's over at second. Mark Trumbo, the Padres have yet to see as he battled a foot injury. He'll be at first base. And Miguel Montero is the catcher tonight. It's brought to you by Honda. As we mentioned, Coleman struggling as of late. Diamondbacks just coming off the road, 2-8 on the trip. They were walked off last night in Washington.
Oh, Mike, that's the reason why the Padres really need to get off to a good start offensively today, because that can get in the psyche of these Diamondbacks. A lot of young players on both sides today.
One ball, 2 strikes to Seth Smith. Well, Smith has been Mr. Even Steven. Hitting at 300 on the road against righties. And if there had been a knock on Seth Smith, is that he wasn't able to hit lefties as well, but he's at 282 against lefties this season. Mark, as we mentioned, the Diamondbacks walked off in ugly fashion. Bouncing ball to third base. The long throw. Mark Trumbo can't glove it. Chooses not to stay in front of it. Denard Span would come around to score, and the Nationals walk off another. 4th time for them in 5 games. They've won 10 in a row.
Well, the Nationals are starting to create that bond at the right time and that identity as a club. Anytime you have walk-off wins, it just energizes the club. When you have that many, you know, this can be special, because this is the toughest time to play games. Now the importance of winning your division, and they're adding space in between the Nationals and the Braves.
2-2 lifted in the air to left field. Alfredo Marte is there. Colementor retires the Padres in order. Odrisamer Despagne heading to the bottom of the 1st.
For Despaigne to bounce back. You know, he had that rough outing in St. Louis where he gave up some early runs and tried to hang in there. But again, this guy, I think, has great resolve. He's got a lot of pride. He's not going to let that happen again. He's going to. I think we'll see a little different attack in the first inning as far as his strike throwing, pitching more aggressively early in the game.
Buddy Black, our Geico quote of the game, talking about Odrisamer Despaigne. Yeah, his last time out in St. Louis on this road trip went 4 innings, allowed 5 earned runs. He'll face Ender Inciarte, Cliff Pennington, and David Peralta here in the bottom of the first inning.
Well, Mike, it's going to be interesting because we're going to take a look at Yasmani Grandal and the relationship that they have, the mix, because they need to get on the same page, and he has to trust Yasmani Grandal, just executing the game plan. And that dynamic is very important, especially when you only have 10 starts in the big leagues, to have that chemistry between the catcher and the pitcher.
Well, if you can use the word crafty with a guy who throws 93, 94, Despaigne might fit that mold. A lot of pitches, a lot of different angles. Bouncing ball, Jerko. He'll retire Inciarte, 1 down. Kirk Gibson in the Diamondbacks tonight. Cliff Pennington will bat second. David Peralta is in right field. Mark Trumbo at first base. If you're looking for Paul Goldschmidt, he is still hurt. Fractured hand after being hit by a pitch against Pittsburgh. Miguel Montero, Alfredo Marte, Jake Lamb. The shortstop, Didi Gregorius. And the pitcher is Josh Colmenter. It's brought to you by Mattress Discounters this evening. Pennington, 29 years old, hitting .345 in his last 14 games. Good defender. Gets time at shortstop as well as second base. And the second baseman for the Diamondbacks, Aaron Hill, getting the night off, a little dinged up in the series in Washington. That ball just dubbed past Despaigne. Jerko's going to have to hurry, and he will in time to get Pennington. Behind Odrisamer this evening, as you saw, Jet Jerko's in second. Alexi Amarista is the shortstop. Yasmani Grandal, that's the middle of your diamond. Will Venable straight away in center field. Either corner, Almonte in left, Seth Smith in right. Solarte is the third baseman. Gobert over at first base. And that's the way it sets up tonight. Defense brought to you by the Aramco Group. With 2 down, here's David Peralta.
Well, you're seeing Odrisamer get very aggressive with the fastball early in this game, and that's a good sign.
And Peralta into left center field. Almonte unable to cut it off. It'll get to the wall. Peralta can run. Really good speed in the length of distance, and he'll pull into third with a triple. They tell us the first 30 or so yards, not that quick. But after that, good open field speed, and he's got a 2-out triple.
So much room here at Chase Field, but we'll take a look at the swing by Peralta. A ball that's off the plate, does a nice job going with that pitch. But you can see Will Venable on the pull side. An easy triple here at Chase Field. Big gaps, tough outfield to play. 2-out triple.
So with Peralta at third, here's Mark Trumbo. When the Diamondbacks came into spring training, they thought they'd have a very potent middle of the lineup built around Mark Trumbo and Paul Goldschmidt. Hasn't quite worked out that way.
Well, Kevin Towers went out and tried to acquire a power bat from the Angels. Had to give up some pitching in return. On a substantial amount of DL time. There's Kevin Towers, the former Padre GM, now Arizona Diamondbacks GM. The power in the game of baseball is very limited, and that's the reason why I went out there and tried to acquire him. The problem is they need to find a position for him.
He's a big man, 6'4", 235. They tried him in left field. Some challenges there. He struggled at first base defensively as well.
You see Joe West, the home plate umpire, giving that outside fastball. There's Joe West, 37-year umpiring.
Marty Foster over at first base tonight. Gabe Morales at second. And Rob Drake down the line at third.
Let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your Honda dealers of San Diego County. Despaigne's success early innings, 4 earned runs against the St. Louis Cardinals. You don't want to pitch behind. And then off-speed hitting for the Padres. They're going to have to hit that changeup. We've seen it from Cole Mentor already early in this game.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs to Trumbo. And it's deep in the hole at shortstop. It's going to be a long throw from Amarista. It's close, but not in time, says the first base umpire, Marty Foster. Well, Amarista would have had to come up with something special there. Made a great play to keep it from getting to the outfield, but unable to throw out Trumbo, so the Diamondbacks now lead 1-0.
Well, Mike, you see Amarista go to his right and going a long way, and he actually had to take an extra step. He gets it off quickly, and just not in time. Trumbo hustling down the first base line. Watch him get out of it. He could smell a hit. Puts his head down, and a bang-bang play. Nice play all around. RBI for Trumbo.
2-out rally for the Diamondbacks. Here's the catcher, Miguel Montero. That ball hit well, right field. Looking up and off the pole and gone. You hear that dinging of the bell sound, and Seth Smith looked up into the corner, and it's a 2-run shot from Miguel Montero. It's now a 3-0 Diamondback lead.
Well, Mike, experienced hitters sit on pitches. Exactly what happens in this situation. Gets that changeup, it looks like, out of the hands. Take a listen to this. His 13th home run of the season, but experience comes into play there, sitting on a pitch and delivering.
Alfredo Marte. They should call it a fair pole.
I agree.
Why they call it a foul pole? Hits the pole, it's fair. So Montero.
I don't even know who to ask.
His 13th home run of the season. All the damage coming with 2 outs.
Well, Mike, what comes into play now is you have experience and also more video to go on to game plan against Despagne. And you look at those 2 starts against the St. Louis Cardinals, very aggressive hitting, sitting on breaking balls. An early success for the opposition.
We mentioned it in the open. We were going to keep an eye on Odrisamer Despagne's ability to throw first pitch strikes. 2 times out of the 6 hitters he has faced so far has he gotten ahead with strike 1. Well, the inning started smoothly. Enciarte, Pennington both grounding out to Jed Jerko at second. Then a triple, a single, and a home run. And Despagne trailing early.
Well, Mike, the Arizona Diamondbacks on the road trip where they were 2 and 8, 9 for 60 with runners in scoring position. The last 3 games 0 for 11. Tonight already 2 for 2.
You know, the thing kind of impressive about Trumbo there is he had missed all the time this season with a fracture, stress fracture in the foot, and then plantar fasciitis, and still healthy enough clearly to get down the line in good speed, able to beat the long throw from Amarista. Bounce it right back to Despani. Leaps makes the catch, and he'll retire. Marte with the Diamondbacks stinging the Padres in the first. They lead 3-0.
Trucks. And if we're watching Josh Comenter, you're seeing an unorthodox delivery straight over the top, almost Iron Mike-like, but very rare you see that over-the-top delivery. It's deceptive, it is very difficult to adjust to, and you can see the fastball changeup mix that comes into play as Josh Comenter has that deception with that arm slot.
Well, Comenter already staked now to a 3-run lead. He'll face Jed Jerko, Yasmani Grandal, and Jake Gobert. Top of the second inning. You see 84 miles an hour, folks. That is his fastball. That's been the concern for Kirk Gibson. Usually works 88 to 90 miles an hour. This ball lifted into center field, or right center. It'll be Inciarte to put it away. And Jed Jerko is the first out in the second. So Kirk Gibson said before the game he was going to keep a very close eye on the radar gun with Josh Comenter, who came into the night with 129 in the third innings pitched. Remember, he was a reliever for the most part, so Kirk Gibson said if his velocity is low, and you see Mike Harkey, the pitching coach, sitting next to him, they may get him out of this game early.
Yeah, Mike, this is his 57th career start. He's 20-19, so a 500 pitcher. Really profiles as a guy out of the bullpen that can give you some innings, but also not 2 or 3 times through the lineup. Let's see if the Padres adjust moving forward. And the adjustment is just like the tools of our trade, that arm slot. So used to trying to pick it up from a different spot. Coming right over the top. It's the reason why that fastball changeup mix works very well.
Also to center field, and Inciarte camps under this one. 2 down. That'll bring up Jake Gobert, who's a guest on the pregame show. 281 average, a home run. 8 runs driven in.
I just love his passion for the game. One of the things he said on the pregame show is feels a lot more comfortable coming up after he got sent down. Which that comes into play, Mike, because you have to feel like you belong in the big leagues. Jake Gobert knows familiarity. He understands Bud Black, his style as a manager. He also knows he has opportunities at first base to play with Yonder Alonso's injury.
The baseball fans, I think, will be excited by this series. If you black out the records, I understand you want your clubs to win and perform well in the division, but both teams have some guys on the field right now, young, hungry, looking for jobs. You mentioned Gobert. Padres fans keeping an eye on Jake and Abraham Almonte, Yangervis Solarte, some new faces. Ball just softly lifted to shallow center. Oh, yeah, how about that inning for Ender Inciarte? Jerko, Grandal, and Gobert all gobbled up by the center fielder. Team's been away from Petco for a while. 7 games so far on the road. They'll play 3 here in Arizona before opening up a series against the Brewers at home on Monday. Jake Lamb, Didi Gregorius in the pitcher's slot. Bottom of the second inning, Diamondbacks put up 3 runs with 2 outs in the first.
Well, Mike, you see Jake Lamb and talk to former Padre Phil Nevin, who is managing the AAA Reno Aces. He loves this young man. You look at the numbers here at the big league level, only coming in at 184 with 3 RBIs, but opened some eyes in the minor leagues and got an opportunity with some injuries.
Bouncing ball up the middle, diving stop. Amarista, he's up with it, long throw, not in time. Base hit for Lamb. Great stop by Amarista. And Lamb got down the line pretty well, and he'll beat it out.
Mike, we've seen him go to his right, and then Alexi Amarista going to his glove side up the middle. This is a fast infield. You can see him not gloving it early enough, and Jake Gobert comes off the base to just catch the ball at first base. But outstanding effort by Alexi Amarista. Very impressed with his shortstop ability.
Didi Gregorius. Have an awkward swing. Don't know if he took it off the instep or just turned his ankle funny. Take another look.
Yeah, you see the reaction, and this probably rifles right off at his front foot. Yeah, they're right off the toe. Yeah, and you see the reaction. That does not feel good. The umpire is giving him a little bit of time, but the movement on the fastball will do that to you, trying to get out around that pitch. And make sure he tries to stay inside this pitch.
Yeah, the early inning trouble continues for Despaigne. Leadoff man aboard as Gregorius fouls it away.
Yeah, first ball off the front toe. The next one, a changeup, goes the other way into the left field seats.
Folks, we're very excited that in the third inning, we're going to be joined by the Padres' new general manager, A.J. Preller. Be with us in the booth. Been in his new role just a couple of weeks now, and we're looking forward to hearing what he's been able to assess and ascertain to this point. What his plans are for the future of Padres baseball. Backhand play by Gobert. And he'll retire Gregorius as Lamb trots down to second base. One down. Time now for you to tweet your photo using hashtag SDFanPhoto. Chance to have it shown in our broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. Send them in now. Try to get them on tonight for you.
I think we should take a selfie. What do you think of that?
I'm up for that. Pitcher Josh Colmenter.
Well, the early goings, Despaigne looks like he's not locating his pitches. Something moving forward and slowing the pace up in between pitches. A lot of talk as Bud Black speeding up his delivery, speeding up the process. But you can see even that last pitch, Yasmani Grandal sitting outside, and then the location. Watch the glove move. Moving on that inside part. That's missing location by probably a foot.
Strike two to Colmenter. Despaigne now 3 of 9 with first pitch strikes. He's made 32 pitches so far this evening. Just one out in the second inning. Colmenter slaps this ball softly to Jerko. And Colmenter's gone. Jake Lamb moves over to third base. 2 down. Top of the order now, Ender Inciarte. Inciarte led off this game, grounding out to Jerko.
Well, Mike, you can actually see, see Solarte right down here on the grass, because Inciarte runs very, very well. Even with 2 outs, could lay a bunt down. He's been swinging the bat very well, but with that speed, you got to trust that he can do that, especially some young players who have established themselves as good bunters. See the rookie leaders in the National League.
A couple of guys in the lineup tonight for Arizona right there, Inciarte and Peralta. Jed Jerko again. Oh, and he has trouble. That ball played him a bit. Jed was backing up on it. Unable to make a clean play, and Jake Lamb, the 4th run of the game for the Diamondbacks. The error charged to Jed.
This ball plays Jed Jerko, and you watch it, it's the extra hops. He wasn't aggressive moving forward through this baseball, and it's surprising with Inciarte being able to run, and it plays him for an error, and a costly error with 2 outs.
So for the second consecutive inning, the Diamondbacks score with 2 outs. Here's Cliff Pennington. He grounded out to Jed Jerko in the first. Inciarte getting all that playing time now with the injury to A.J. Pollock. And Inciarte has been impressive. Good speed, good range, good glove, good arm, they tell us. And a beneficiary of an error, so he's aboard. Pennington here with 2 outs.
Ciarte coming into this game, 9 steals on the year. Dave McKay, the first base coach, right next to him. Very aggressive first base coach. Tries to pick out keys. That's something on the scouting reports that they've gone over.
There goes Ciarte to throw very high. And Ender Ciarte, his 10th stolen base.
Let's take a look at Ciarte. Nice jump off Despaigne. And with the speed, drawing that high throw easily into second base.
Yasmani has had his challenges throwing out runners. At about a 12% clip this season. And remember, he's coming back from a very serious knee injury, and how much that affects his ability to hop out of a squat, fire down a strike, I don't know, but you got to figure it's a challenge just the same. It can't be easy.
Well, you got to gain strength, and he's trying to gain strength during the year. Sometimes might be very difficult. Maybe need an off season to get more strength in that knee area. But still, when you're competing and you have to throw guys out, you have to work on mechanics and that quick release that you always hear from the catchers. Sure saw that by Rene Rivera last night, nabbing 2 runners.
Wow, Rene was impressive. And the runners he got, Carl Crawford, D. Gordon.
You know, Mike, you look at the year, and Rene Rivera, in my estimation, is one of the most valuable players on this club. Did a great job with the pitching staff. Made himself into a much better hitter. But controlling that, especially as the backup, you see Rene Rivera there next to Reimer Liriano. Cutting his nails.
Heck of a manicure he's giving himself here. The nails flying everywhere.
But you get back to Rene Rivera. What an outstanding job he's done with his staff, controlling the pitching staff, making them feel very comfortable when he's behind the plate. His framing ability, his throwing ability, coming up with big hits.
Strike 3, says home plate umpire Joe West. Looked like Cliff Pennington thought he had drawn a walk, and Despaigne gets himself out of it. Gives up a run, though, a defensive miscue by Jed Jerko. The Diamondbacks lead 4-0. When we come back, new Padre GM A.J. Preller in the booth with us. San Diego fans of the game, and a bunch of them here at Chase Field. Will Venable, Alexi Amarista, and a pitcher's spot. Odrisamer Despaigne is scheduled here at the top of the 3rd. Will Doyle out to center field. Back goes Inciarte. Will gave it a ride to the track, but Inciarte is under it. And there is one down. Will gave it a ride. The deepest part of the ballpark, 413 out there, and Inciarte able to get back there and put it away.
Well, nice swing by Will Venable. That pitch away that he's covering, and he squares this up. Listen to that sound. And Inciarte runs it down for the 4th consecutive out by the center fielder.
Here's Alexi Amarista. Makes an 85-mile-an-hour fastball. Strike one.
You can see that by Josh Comenter using that fastball elevated and even on the outside edge and working the curveball, changeup combination off of that fastball. Likes to use that 2-strike elevated fastball to get in the mind of the hitters, and he can work that changeup off of that same plane or possibly even the breaking ball.
1-ball, 2-strike pitch is popped into left field, and Alexi Amarista, a 1-out base hit.
Alexi Amarista on the changeup, a 2-strike changeup. Watch how he sits back. What a beautiful swing using his hands. He gets his head, he gets his foot down, his head stays there, it stabilizes, and he can use his hands to left field. What a sweet swing.
So Alexi, who had been sitting for 24 on the trip so far, base hit his first at bat tonight. And that brings up the pitcher, Odrisamer Despaigne. Down 4-0, no secret here. Despaigne will square and can't get it down. Is it back?
I want Despaigne to get his first knock tonight. Why not? Help yourself out.
Jake Lamb, the rookie third baseman, is in his pocket. And Despaigne fans through it there. It's 0-2. Hey, special guest up in the booth. We're joined by the Padres' new general manager, AJ Preller.
Mike, how are you?
Well, thanks.
Welcome, AJ.
Hey, Mark, how are you? Nice to see you again.
A chance to see your new club here in Arizona. I thought what jumped out at me right away was I thought I'd see you in the visitors' general manager's box, and you're down there with the scouts.
See if Mark gets his wish.
Oh! Diving play, Inciarte. So he goes to the track to get a long fly ball hit by Venable to open the inning. And then he makes this play off the bat of Despaigne.
Inciarte going a long way and ranging to his glove side and making an acrobatic catch. This young man is opening a lot of people's eyes, both offensively and on the other side of the ball. Nice catch.
Yeah, I think as far as where to sit, I think the whole thing has been I think I got lost just trying to get to the seats tonight. So getting from the press box down to the field. So just getting to the seat, I think was the start of the evening. So
you got a few moments to stick around with us, and we certainly do appreciate that. With 2 outs and Amarista aboard, Yangervis Solarte, top of the order, as the Padres look to cause a little trouble here in the top of the 3rd inning. So you've only been on the job now a couple of weeks. Have you had a chance at all to settle in, get into any kind of groove?
No, I mean I think that definitely looking forward to getting to a little bit more of a routine than what we've got going on right now. But I think the nice part is I've gotten a chance to meet a lot of people in the organization. Last week I had a chance to sit down with a few of our pro scouts and amateur scouts, and I'm going to do a similar thing here this week again. And then obviously, on this road trip, get a chance to sit down with the big league coaching staff. So really looking forward to that.
AJ, obviously communication is huge now, and introducing yourself as.
Ball hit out to right field. It falls in front of the right fielder, Peralta. Good strong arm. Here's the throw to get Amarista. Is it in time? It is, says Rob Drake, the third base umpire. Boy, you got to be careful. David Peralta, he's a right fielder now, but he used to be a pitcher, and a big arm. The Padres unable to score. One more look at the throw. Peralta on the crow hop and a dart to third base. He gets Amarista. Diamondbacks lead 4-0. Bench coach talking things over after Alexi Amarista cut down there to end any Padre threat in the top of the third as we welcome you back. Chase Field here in Phoenix, Arizona, joined by the Padres general manager A.J. Preller, and we were talking just before that final out about you're getting an opportunity now to start meeting with people in the organization, and you said at your press conference when you took the job that it was important for you to connect the organization from the top down, and we know you were talking with Buddy and Corey Lukey there before the game. What is that process like, and what's the timeline before you feel comfortable that you're all on the same page?
I mean, I think, as far as definitely just want to jump right into it and be able to, I think one of the things about the move as far as hiring GM in season is you get a chance to see your minor league clubs play a little bit, see, get around the coaching staff, get around the big league staff and the players, see your major league team play. And hopefully as we get into the offseason, kind of hit the ground running. So I think hopefully that'll be an advantage here as we go. Obviously I think any relationship, everything takes time where, I get a chance to get a grasp for our staff, and our staff gets a chance to get around me. But hopefully that time, able to shrink that a little bit and have a productive next few months, next few weeks.
AJ, your first impressions of Bud Black, the manager of the Padres?
I think we said from day one, I think from afar the impressions have been positive. So far, I think his first week on the job he's been very open to me. I try to speed up my learning curve. Obviously the team has played hard for him here in the last few weeks. There's been a lot of energy. The club's played well here in the second half. And I think similar to my impressions coming into it, has been very positive, and going to grab a bite to eat with him here after the game, and looking forward to that. So.
Padres GM A.J. Preller, our guest here in the booth. It's bottom of the third inning. Diamondbacks leading this one 4-0. When you look to organize your staff moving forward, and I'm not talking about on the field, I'm talking about throughout the minor leagues to carry out your vision. We noticed your first hire, your first order of business was a fellow you have a very close bond with, Don Welke, been in the game a long time. What does he bring to the table for you in the organization?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first part, I mean, the main reason that, looking to bring Don involved is he has knowledge. He's a good scout. He has tremendous judgment. I think background experience. Obviously, he's got he's been scouting for over 40 years, close to 50 years. in baseball. He's been part of very successful organizations, primarily in the beginning of his career with the Toronto Blue Jays, and was served as a as a right-hand man for Pat Gillick for a long time. He's been involved in signing some outstanding players, from Pat Henkin to Dave Steve to John Olerud, and then in the acquisitions of Josh Hamilton and Adrian Beltre, with the Rangers the last few years. But I think the biggest thing too is his personality. He's a guy that he likes to joke around, on the when it's not baseball time, but when it's time to be serious, talk the game. He's very knowledgeable, and he's going to be a good asset for everyone in the organization. So.
Well, you see Don Welke's resume, and I think all of us in baseball that love just learning the game would probably like to be put in the room with him and lock the doors and never come out, just talk baseball over and over. Who are the people in your career that have really influenced you to get to this point of being the GM of the San Diego Padres?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really been there's been so many people, honestly. I think that's just the thing with the game of baseball. I mean, when you're around it, you never stop learning, and every single day, you're able to go to the ballpark, or whether you're at whether you're at the hotel sitting in the lobby, and whether it's talking to scouts, coaches, players, just the constant quest to learn more. And hey, ask the question why. Why certain things happen, why certain guys had success or didn't. I think Don clearly has been one person, from my standpoint on the scouting side, that's been very influential. John Daniels, obviously, from a front office standpoint. But there's been really, it's really the day-to-day interaction with so many people across the game that have been big for myself.
1 strike to the catcher, Miguel Montero. Well, we're hoping we can steal you for a little more time, so I'll ask you up front if you've got an extra moment for us, maybe keep you for even another half inning. So much to get to, so much to talk about.
Yeah, if it gets us some runs, I'll stay here
all
all
right.
night.
Make you the lucky charm. Inside Montero, 3 balls and the strike. Have you had a chance to think about what type of team you think would be successful at Petco Park? It's been traditionally, the pitching heavy, offense been a little bit soft. What's your take as to what you think will win at that ballpark?
Yeah, I don't think I don't think it's really any kind of secret. I mean, at the end of the day, you're always looking for a balanced club. You're looking for a team that has two-way players that contribute offensively and defensively. Usually championship clubs strung up the middle with some run producers on the corners and quality pitching. But I think the one thing you see throughout the game is there's no absolutes, and there's no one set way to build a club. And I think what we're going to look at with our coaches and staff is, what are the assets here? Where's the strength? Sometimes you have to, you build on the strengths, and then also gives you maybe the opportunity to deal from the strengths to address some of the weaknesses. And that's what we're going to try to do here in the next few months, the next few years.
2 outs, 1 on. Here's Alfredo Marte. It's interesting you mentioned that. As Mark and I talk all the time. But Oakland has their philosophy, and they'll churn through some players, and they employ a platoon situation often, not unlike what we're seeing in San Diego currently. When you were at Texas, you had some cornerstone players as well. Is there a recipe that at first blush you think might work here? And we'll get on that thought in a moment as this ball is hammered to center field. Nice running catch, Will Venable. Alfredo Marte is retired, so we'll ponder that notion with the new general manager, A.J. Preller. We'll be back with more baseball in a moment. lead the Padres 4-0 in the top of the fourth inning. Mark Sweeney, Mike Pomeranz with you, as well as the Padres' new general manager. It's A.J. Preller. And before the final out of the last inning, we were talking, at least in theory, as to whether there was a model out there in baseball you think would apply best in San Diego's case, whether it was the platoon system that we see employed in Oakland, maybe the high-dollar cornerstone model that you see throughout baseball as well. What's your first blush opinion there?
Like I said, I definitely think we're going to try to structure something as a Padre type way, of what we're doing, how we're trying to build it. It's all different with all different clubs. Just being here in Arizona, obviously, they had Schilling and Johnson. At one point in time, they had two ace type pitchers, two number one type guys, and they carried a huge part of the load and carried them to the World Series. Other clubs, like maybe the White Sox team that won, in the mid '90s, they had five, kind of mid-tier number 2, 3 type starters that carried them. I think the biggest thing, like you said, is right now San Diego with Cashner, Ross, Kennedy, Hahn. It's been good starting pitching. It's been good starting pitching there all year. That's an area I think you could build upon, and then and go from there with it. But I really don't see it as, hey, we got to do it the Oakland way or the Tampa Bay. I think we're looking to do it the Padre way here going forward. So.
Well, you got to love the effort by Tyson Ross last night going against Clayton Kershaw. I'd like to see that matchup happen a few more times because it fit all the billing last night.
Yeah, I think sometimes you get those matchups and you think it's going to be a pitcher's duel and you get a 7-6 game in the third inning and you're into the bullpens. But last night, obviously, I didn't get a chance to see the whole game, but but last night was obviously a game that lived into the billing. It was a fun game to watch for fans, and you got two guys that are, two of the best pitchers in the National League going pitch for pitch all night long. So
there you see Tyson, just a hard luck loser last night. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out to Seth Smith. And AJ, you made much of your reputation with your phenomenal work in the Latin American market, and you spearheaded the Texas Rangers development of their academy, and I know you've had a chance to see the Padres academy down there. What is your idea going forward as to what would make the Padres more successful in that arena, Latin America?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, at the end of the day, I think, the facility is first class. The facility is a tremendous, it's a tremendous spot to do the academy is a tremendous spot from a development standpoint. It's a place where you can really, you have a chance to, to build something in terms of the day-to-day work and the day-to-day practice, and get kids to come there and really get better. I think as far as ultimately though, if you're going to be successful, it's about getting talent. It's about acquiring talent. It's about building relationships and being a club that makes accurate judgments and is a place where kids want to play. Usually because from a scouting standpoint, maybe you're the first club on that player, or you're a team that's built a specific relationship with the guy and he wants to come be a Padre or whatnot. And that usually carries the day.
Well, it's certainly nice to see Reimer Liriano up here now in the big leagues, a product of that academy for the Padres in the Dominican Republic. 2 outs. Jed Jerko.
Yeah, I think Reimer, obviously, I think even just in the first week he's been up here, you get a chance to see, a guy that can impact the ball game in a lot of different ways. He can impact the game, using his legs and with his arm and power, and plays hard, runs hard, and it's a guy that has, these multiple ways to help the team win a game. And obviously, the more players that you're able to acquire and bring to the big leagues that can impact the game in different ways, usually good things come from that. So Reimer, I think even just in the first week, whether it was the home run he hit into the third deck there in Petco last week, and some of the things we've seen, it's been he's an exciting player. I think a player that the Padre fans are going to enjoy watching in the series.
Well, the Padres general manager A.J. Preller stopping by. It's great to see you
guys.
Thanks so much for the time.
Thanks, AJ.
Best of luck going forward. Pretty sure we're not going to see you for a while. I know you're hitting the road, checking out the ball players, but appreciate the time. 4-0 Diamondback lead. Yeah, Chris and Mark, thank you very much. I thought AJ, for a guy who has been so busy, is always coming across as, just so together with it. And he's got a clear vision as to what he thinks is going to work for this organization. And now, as he told people during the press conference when he first got the job, it's going to take a little bit of time. His quote, it's not going to be smooth sailing from day one, but he's anxious and ready to get going.
Mike, he's a worker. He has passion, and that's what I took from him that first press conference when he was announced, that he had the passion for the game, but also today going around and having communication. We saw it from Bud Black, Corey Lupke, as we see Lamb go down in strikes. But you see the communication, and that's what's got to happen moving forward coming through this season. He's going to go out there, look at as much as he can from the organization, rely on a lot of communication from the scouts and the people in the organization. But that's very important moving forward to get that continuity that he wants and he deserves moving forward.
There you see Corey Lupke, who played catch today, which is a good sign coming off that elbow surgery. Buddy Black saying in his pregame press conference, cautiously optimistic, and it's going to take a lot of time with Corey Lupke, but we wish him well. Good left-handed pitcher when healthy, and hopefully his road to recovery from this point forward is a smooth one. Odrisamer Despaigne struck out Jake Lamb to open up the bottom of the fourth inning, ahead of Didi Gregorius 0-2. Both of these clubs, the Diamondbacks and the Padres, as we mentioned at the beginning of the ball game, looking at some new players, trying to infuse a little life, seeing what they have in the farm system, acquiring some new faces, making some decisions moving forward. As this ball is just nubbed back to Despaigne, and Gregorius is the second out. You can see the Diamondbacks opening day roster, and the names that are bolded are still with the club, but a lot of lines through big names. And Royo on the disabled list. McCarthy traded the Yankees. J.J. Putz, former Padre Joe Thatcher has moved on.
Now this one right here, that's the big one. That big injury from Paul Goldschmidt just sets the tone for this club, and the MVP candidate unfortunately gets hit on the hand and is out for the season. So that's just how everything's gone for the Diamondbacks this year from spring training on. I know the Padre fans out there are probably saying, you know what, we've gone through our bout of so many injuries, and saw Corey Lupke and so many other Tommy John candidates.
Cole Mentor, the pitcher, bounces that ball sharply up the middle. And he's got himself a base hit, his 5th of the season.
He's playing Pepper up the middle of the field. You see that short stroke, and that's what you got to do. Take a look at the location, drifting over the middle of the plate, enabling Cole Mentor to use the middle of the field. Nice hitting.
Diamondbacks, since that Paul Goldschmidt injury, 5-13. Last in the National League, last in hitting with runners in scoring position.
That's that presence in the middle of the lineup that Paul Goldschmidt brought. There's Paul on the bench cheering his guys on, but that's a very difficult injury for them to handle.
Inciarte with 2 down. Paul Goldschmidt got hit on the hand there playing the Pirates. Now that whole series was dicey because the Diamondbacks would answer back. Remember, Andrew McCutchen would then get hit in the back. He'd go to the disabled list. But Goldschmidt, who felt well enough to continue for a little bit in that ball game, then we'll find out later his hand was fractured.
Yeah, that was Ernesto Frieri coming in, and there was a lot of words, especially from the manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks. But Paul Goldschmidt didn't even start that game. It was supposed to be an off day, and he ends up getting inserted in for 1 at bat. and goes down with an injury. That's tough luck for the Diamondbacks.
Now we mentioned that after Goldschmidt got hit, next day, there goes Andrew McCutchen. He would go down. Turns out he would have a fractured rib that they would say was not because of being hit by the pitch right there. It was actually because of a swing that he'd taken later in the ball game. But then he misses time. And Kirk Gibson, as you mentioned, had some words for the Pirates. Clint Hurdle, the Pirate manager, said, hey, we just throw inside. That one got away. But unfortunate for baseball when you lose marquee names like that. Jerko retires Inciarte, so the last couple of innings pretty quiet for Adrisimer Despaigne. The Padres trail 4-0. Buick. Visit your local Buick dealer or go to Buick.com. By Petco, the power of together. And by your San Diego Lexus dealer. The roof is closed, but the pool is open. Chase Field, Phoenix, Arizona. 92 degrees outside. Climate controlled 74.
If you want to enjoy a baseball game and swim, come to Chase Field.
Unless you're the Dodgers.
Then you cannot go into the swimming pool again.
Wow. Remember last year, the Dodgers clinching against Arizona. That didn't go well.
Well, Mike, they had the big brawl earlier in the year, and then the Dodgers clinch here at Chase Field. It's a reason why they probably went out and took a little swim.
Now, Josh Colmenter has gotten himself into the 5th inning with a fastball that is barely approaching 87 miles an hour. And there's one low at 85.
And Mike, 3 guys on the right side for the Diamondbacks against Grandal. That tells me they're going to throw that changeup and fastball in.
Grandal, Gobert, Venable here in the 5th. Josh Colmenter, last 4 starts, 0-2, ERA of 8.5.
And then home runs allowed, 6 home runs. And we already talked about the velocity for Josh Colmenter. Sitting around 85, 86 tonight with the velocity of his fastball.
What does that tell you that he's been able to throw up 4 zeros so far with that type of fastball?
Well, it's just mixing speeds and changing it. And we talked about that arm angle straight over the top, and see if the Padres adjust with their 2nd and 3rd at bats moving forward.
Right into the shift. Nice play, and Grandal is retired.
Well, Mike, we talked earlier about the arm angle, and we'll take a look at the delivery of Josh Colmenter. That glove goes up top, and then you see that arm going right over the top with that awkward delivery and that downward tilt that makes it very difficult for the hitters to pick up out of the hand.
So with one out, here's Jake Gobert. A funny story about that delivery. In the paper, a local writer here many months ago had somehow heard that he developed that delivery by throwing tomahawks as a kid at tree trunks growing up. So he develops that clean, big iron mic overhand delivery that you're talking about. So we'd catch wind of that story. This ball is lifted to left field. Marte steps in front of the track. 2 down. And as you check out this straight over the head, over the top delivery, the story goes he throws tomahawks. So when we come into town, we ask him about it. And said, Josh, that's a fascinating story. I mean, is that any particular reason you were throwing tomahawks? And he said, what are you talking about? So it said in the article, that's how you grew up. He said, I never threw a tomahawk. I just didn't like the writer. Threw him a fake story.
I love Josh Comenter for that.
I thought, boy, you do not want to get on a ball player's bad side. If you are, at least you're the butt of a funny story. Two balls and a strike to Will Venable.
Oh, Mike, you're seeing that tomahawk delivery and the changeup coming out of that with good arm speed.
The Ice Bucket Challenge has gotten a lot of attention. Mark Sweeney has done it, raising some awareness for research for ALS. And Josh Comenter decided to do it up front of the White House with the Diamondbacks playing the Nationals.
Yeah.
Aaron Hill there with it.
Refreshing.
Refreshing, yeah, it was. Bouncing ball, first baseman, it's Trumbo. He'll retire. Venable, side down in order twice consecutively. The Diamondbacks lead 4-0. Issaquah Casino, real friendly, real close. And by the Aramco Group, purchase, refinance, reverse, and visit us at aramco.biz. Keep the little ones interested and engaged. Sometimes they'll take a little road trip in the ballpark. Padres have the beach at Petco. Chase Field as the Jungle Gym. Odrisamer Despaigne to face Cliff Pennington, David Peralta, Mark Trumbo in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Pennington trying to steal a little bunt there with the infield moving as they saw the hands move for Pennington.
Little action tonight in the National League West. The Dodgers and Mets tied at 1 in the 4th. Giants beat the Nationals, as Chris Budden mentioned earlier, 10-3 the final. So Washington, their win streak snapped at 10 games, and that ball eats up Jed Jerko. Try to make the play on the backhand, and Pennington's aboard.
Looks like Jed Jerko tonight is having a tough time with this infield, and that can happen as a visiting player. I don't know if he's not reading the ball off the bat, but looks very tentative and on his heels tonight on 2 plays.
That's the second error for Jed this evening. Misplayed a ball in the 2nd inning that resulted in a Diamondback run. And now with Pennington aboard, here's David Peralta. Peralta is a fascinating story. Started as a pitcher in the Cardinals organization. Ran into some arm problems. And I know you know the story better than I do from there, but it just intrigued me the whole way through.
Well, Mike, he ends up getting released by the Cardinals and then goes home for a bit of time and then tries to reinvent himself as a position player. And as a lot of players, they go to independent ball to try to resurrect their career and keep that dream alive. Well, the Arizona Diamondbacks ended up releasing a player from Single A, and they needed to fill that spot. And what they do is one of the scouting directors asks people from the independent league, who you recommend? Well, David Peralta's name came up, and another 3 names. They end up picking Peralta. He goes from Single A as an outfielder last year to the big leagues this year. What a great story.
Out of baseball for 4 years to make himself into a hitter.
And now he's in that discussion of Rookie of the Year for the National League. You look at Billy Hamilton for the Cincinnati Reds. But Peralta has to be in that discussion. I think Jesse Hahn for the San Diego Padres has had an outstanding year. But he's in the discussion, and it shows you the work ethic that he put in to be an everyday player.
Peralta leads National League rookies in average slugging percentage, up there in multi-hit games, RBIs. Very productive. We saw how well he still throws, and he goes down on strikes. Despaigne getting Peralta. First out here in the 5th. 3 strikeouts now for Odrisamer Despaigne. The Diamondbacks don't strike out too often. Only the Cardinals have struck out fewer times in the National League as a team. On vacation. Strikeout stat of the night. And with an out, here's Mark Trumbo.
You got to be careful of that first pitch breaking ball in this situation.
Our Arco top tier player profile brought to you by Arco this evening. Mark Trumbo, first baseman. American League leaders in career home runs from 2011 to 2013. Trumbo with 95. Cabrera, Batista, Beltre, the only ones ahead of him. He's tied with Edwin Encarnacion.
Well, Mike, that goes back to the discussion of Kevin Towers, the Arizona Diamondbacks GM, going out and getting the power.
Tess Amaris, a nice play. They'll get one. They get Pennington at second base. They might get Trumbo. Trumbo had gone to that 5.5 hole in the first, got an RBI, making a long throw from Amarista, but this time Amarista able to go to the short way, and he'll get Pennington.
First base was very close play, and you can see the bench coach Dave Roberts going to the phones just to see if they have an opportunity to challenge that play. It looks like they don't. See that right foot on the bag and not into the glove yet.
Kind of an odd stutter step by Trumbo toward the end there, and he's coming off a foot injury, so you wondered if that nagged at him. But he is safe with 2 out. Here's Miguel Montero. Montero, big blast in the first inning, a 2-run home run. Part of a 3-run inning for Arizona. They'd add another in the second. They lead 4-0. Padres employing the shift to help Despaigne.
You can see Amarista going from his short position, then Jed Jerko moving over, trying to put that hole in between first and second with Gobert holding the runner on. Looks like Montero is sitting on all of those breaking balls. A changeup for the first home run in the first inning. You see him going after that curveball with intent. Take a look at the first inning home run. That off-speed pitch, it looked like a changeup, and he wraps it off the fair pole down the right field line. So many times we talk about plans at the plate. You can see some hitters will sit on that breaking ball. For Despaigne, loves to throw the off-speed pitches.
And Joe West brings him up. Despaigne strikes out a second man of the inning, his 4th in the ball game. The Padres trail by 4. Diamondbacks relentless early. They have a 3-run first inning. Mark Trumbo, that bouncing ball would score David Peralta, who had tripled earlier, and then right away Miguel Montero, after Trumbo reaches a 2-run home run off of the foul pole. And then the rest of the story to this point has been Josh Coleman.
Yeah, Mike, he's been outstanding with the changeup. And then the fastball elevated with 2 strikes. He looks like he's settled in. Not the velocity that you would see on a typical night, as Darren Balsley takes a look, has a conversation with Despaigne in his outing tonight.
8-9-1, Alexi Amarista to face Cole Mentor here in the top of the 6th inning. Cameron Maben waits on deck, so you would assume Espana's night's done. It's a pat on the back from Darren Balsley.
Well, you see Darren Balsley, and always the communicator is Cameron Maben is on deck. But the communicator and how important it is to have Despaigne learn from that.
Little check swing roller to Gregorius. Going to have to flip it on over to first. He's able to do that. So Amarista is the first out here in the 6th. Told you some good baseball going on around the country tonight. Atlanta, Cincinnati. Mike Minor spinning a no-hitter into the 8th before Billy Hamilton would break it up. Makes it a 1-1 ball game. They're now in the 11th inning. The Reds now have 2 hits. How about this line for the Braves? The Braves, their 1 run on 10 hits. Runs the only column that matter. Each team with 1.
How's that runners in scoring position treating you?
Well, 1 out. Here's Cameron Maben.
Well, Mike, this is the time where Cameron made a huge adjustment a year ago, eliminating that big leg kick, and then he ended up trying it here at Chase Field and hit a huge home run. He basically put that front foot down and rolled his front foot, put it down early, so he eliminated a huge leg kick and benefited very early in that hitting process.
You know the home run you're talking about? I'm not 100% sure I remember it correctly, but I believe they had that at 485 feet.
Yeah, I thought it was going to go through the panels when he first hit it. I think Cameron has a lot of power potential. He gets a little bit pull happy for me. You can see that number 5 on our Fox tracks by Southland Technology right down the middle of the plate. Those are the mistakes that you have to capitalize on.
Colmenter gets Maben, battles back, and on the full count pitch, Maben's gone. 3rd strikeout.
Mike, we saw the number 5 pitch, and there's the fastball coming right at you. Back-to-back fastballs by Cameron Maben. A longer swing. You got to shorten that up with 2 strikes.
Only 1 walk in the game. Montero walking in the 3rd. Jan Solarte. And Hervis 1 for 2. Only 2 hits so far for the Padres. Jan Hervis has 1 of them.
You can see home plate umpire Joe West is going to give a liberal strike zone, and in my estimation, Josh Colmenter has earned that. He has spotted his fastball. He's gone with that changeup and then the breaking ball to go along with it.
Does facing a guy like Colmenter after facing Kershaw affect you at all?
Not at all. I mean, these are the guys you go back to the dugout. You're frustrated you're making outs, but you're making outs because of location and changing speeds. You can see the location on that fastball. He's worked away the hole at bat, and then he busts him in.
Well, the Padres are going to have to start getting serious here if they want to threaten in this ball game. Starting to get late, and down goes Solarte. Colmenter continues to roll. How? We're not quite sure, but he leads 4-0. Very much. Yeah, the A's have been a really goofy storm. But consider this. They're 22 games over 500, the A's. And they're in second place, back by 2 games. It's a heck of a run. Frank Garces is the new Padre pitcher. Our Drew Ford pitching change takes over for Adrisimer Despaigne.
Well, Mike, we saw Frank in his debut at Dodger Stadium in 1 inning, 1 strikeout. Fastball, slider, changeup. Had a good changeup, but got the strikeout on a slider the other night at Dodger Stadium.
Splintered bat. Jerko leaping. Nice play. So Marte retired. Jed Jerko, a former high school basketball player, still got some ups.
Well, nice athletic play by Jed Jerko getting up. This ball's off the end of the bat. Uses every part of the glove to make that catch. Yeah, and changing his body as well.
Good acrobatic leaping play. So Jerko helps the Padres record the first out here at the bottom of the 6th inning. That'll bring up Jake Lamb. As we mentioned, Lamb and Peralta, the Diamondback right fielder, 2 of the young players this club really high on right now. In fact, if you're wondering if Tony La Russa has had any impact since coming over and heading up operations here on the baseball side for the Diamondbacks, those 2 players, 2 of his early orders of business. Apparently he went down to the minor leagues, saw Lamb, saw Peralta. Said if there are 2 guys we think might be close, even though they're in the low levels right now, it's Lamb and Peralta, and here they are.
Well, for a talent evaluator, as we see that slider punched out Lamb, that's what you want to see, especially off the left-hander. And Frank Garces shows us that slider command. Take a look at this replay, and you can see the break on that slider going all the way across and sticking that outside corner by Yasmani Grandal. Looked like it was a little off the plate, but nice pitch by Garces. Seeing him battle the left-handers, and that's probably why Bud Black inserts him in this situation. They want to evaluate him, especially against left-handers. What I love about Frank is he gets the ball, he's on the rubber, he's around the mound, and he doesn't look scared. And he has every reason to be scared. Only his 2nd inning of work in the major leagues.
Two balls and a strike now to Gregorius. Now, Buddy had mentioned he's got a little funk to him, a little crossfire delivery. Behind now, 3 balls and a strike. Check out his Cholula flamethrower stat of the evening.
Like, that's hot sauce.
92 miles an hour. Not a big man, but he can run it up there a bit. He'll go off speed and he will miss. So after striking out Jake Lamb, he walks Didi Gregorius.
And Saturday MLB on Fox Sports 1 returns to it as the Giants take on the Nationals. Coverage begins at 12:30 Pacific on Fox Sports 1. Then be sure to tune in to Fox Sports San Diego to catch the Padres taking on the Diamondbacks starting at 4:30 Pacific.
What else you want? Got you covered head to toe. Fox Sports 1 and Fox Sports San Diego. 4-0 ball game in the bottom of the 6th.
The division, the playoff run, the extra wild card, exciting baseball coming up.
Colmenter, shallow center field. Venable coming on, makes the catch. So Frank Garces, the young lefty, has himself an inning with just a walk and a strikeout.
no pressure. Seth, it's a home run right here. I will buy you dinner the next 2 nights.
Next 2 nights? So tonight, so you're paying my dues in the clubhouse?
I got you. No. Yeah, I got your dues.
Blaine Boyer, Tim Stauffer, the guys in the pen. Boy, I hope you'll stick around after Padres Live, the post-game show, and Chris Button and Mark Loretta. We have a special Padres POV. I wonder what they're betting on right now.
They're probably talking about the clubhouse dues here. It's a 3-game series. Why not?
Well, the clubbies take great care of the guys, though. You well know, after you're 14 years in the big leagues, you got to throw a few bucks their way.
Yeah, Bob Doty and his staff down here, they do an outstanding job. Always got to talk about Spencer for the home side. Spencer Dowling.
The best.
The best in the game.
Guy never stops working.
He doesn't. Loves his fantasy football team. Brian Perlman, he does not play fantasy football, but he's the head clubhouse guy.
Diamondbacks 39-11 when they lead after 6 innings. Not good. And Almonte gone as Colementor continues to cruise here at the top of the 7th inning. Well, as we promised you earlier in the ball game, we have that AT&T fan photo of the game for you. You tweet your photo to hashtag #SDFanPhoto. A chance to have it shown in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by our buddies at AT&T. So Lynn Hall, thank you for the picture. The old-time hats looking solid.
Oh, I love those lids.
When your team starts in 1969, that's considered old time. Seth Smith. 0 for 2.
And he starts him off with that slow breaking ball, then tries to go for that fastball in. Josh Colementor is pitching like he has a 10-run lead.
Got in on Smith right there, and it's Inciarte, 2 down. Well, for Colementor, who is 0-2 in his last 4 starts with an ERA of 8.5, he's a different man tonight, Mark.
Well, Mike, we've seen his delivery. There's the changeup. There's the high fastball with 2 strikes. And for Cameron Maben, pumped 2 fastballs by him with 1 strike going into that. Very comfortable tonight, throwing to both sides of the plate. Good mixture of the off-speed pitches and fastball command.
He allowed 25 hits in his last 4 starts, and he has really tightened it up tonight. Just 2 hits.
Yeah, Mike, earlier in the velocity saw 84, 85 miles an hour. Now he's starting to get into that rhythm, seeing 87, 88. It's not really velocity that he relies on. It's deception with that delivery, but also changing speeds.
Going to be a tough play. Gregorius with a good glove and a very strong arm. And he's able to get Jerko. D.D. Gregorius. Looked like that might sneak into left field. It does not. Jerko retired. Padres trail 4-0. Andrew Cashner against Fidel Nuno. Andrew Cashner. Going to see him out for the first time in a couple of months, and boy, the Padres are excited to have him back in the fold. Big, strong arm. We saw him working a bullpen the other day in Los Angeles, and he was pleased with it. He was impressive. He's rared and ready to go. It'll be Cashner Nuno tomorrow, 4:30, Game 2 with his 3-game series between the Padres and the Diamondbacks. Garces in his second inning of work. Top of the order for Arizona here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Inciarte, Pennington, Peralta. You know, Jesse Hahn, as they watch his innings and they send him down, it'd be sure nice to get Andrew Cashner up there and hopefully able to run out the season with as many starts as he can fit in.
Well, Mike, we were going to ask A.J. Preller, but we ran out of time about taking those innings. You know, Jesse Hahn is limited with the innings moving forward, and Andrew Cashner coming off helps that. The roster's expanding in September. Because there will be some extra players, especially to take some of those innings and relief pitchers. And see A.J. there. We again thank him for his time today. The communication skills moving forward, what you're going to do, and how many guys you're going to have to try to put on the roster, and evaluating this organization.
Softly hit to center field, and Venable puts it away. 1 down.
Petco Park is the place to be Saturday, August 30th, when your Padres take on the rival L.A. Dodgers at 5:40 p.m. As part of the baseball nights in San Diego, every fan in attendance will take home a Padres mesh hat presented by Las Vegas and supported by KSON. Don't miss this one. Get your tickets today at Padres.com.
Cliff Pennington. Pennington 0 for 3. Reached on Jed Jerko's second error of the night in the 5th inning. Two balls and a strike to Pennington. Amarista. He'll get Pennington 2 down.
Let's take a look at the keys of the game, brought to you by your Honda dealers of San Diego County. Despondé success early, 3 hits, 3 runs. That big home run by Miguel Montero with 2 outs. That hurts that one. 1 hit, 1 run in the 2nd inning. Off speed hitting, Cole Mentor. 3 singles allowed. 2 singles, excuse me. Dominating performance by Cole Mentor.
Hey, coming into this ball game, there was no expectation for Cole Mentor from the Diamondbacks bench. They were just hoping he was healthy, as Kirk Gibson was going to keep an eye on it, and so was his catcher there, Miguel Montero. Mike Harkey, the pitching coach, hoping that this lack of velocity he had exhibited in his last 4 starts was not the sign of an injury. Velocity's bounced back, and he's pitched very well tonight. Early inning troubles, what got to Odrisamer Despaigne. Mark points out in those keys to the game, Mark 3 hits and 3 earned runs in the 1st, and then the run he gave up after that was unearned, so 2 hits, no earned runs in his remaining 4 innings. Gobert himself, and he'll get Peralta. So Garces continues to impress, but the Padres are in a hole. Torres. That's not going to keep anybody around. No one wants to see behind the curtain at our sorry act.
You're right.
On the plus side, though, Lloyd Maxon, the producer, and the staff with Padres POV doing a great job getting behind the scenes of the folks you are interested in, the Padres players.
Well, I love seeing our producer Stephen Rose on that bit too. That's the most important thing. Getting Rose on camera.
Alex Torres loosening up in the Padre bullpen. Grandal, Gobert, and Venable to face Iron Mike here in the top of the 8th inning.
That's exactly right. Iron Mike, for all those people who have gone and put a couple quarters in, exactly what you're getting. Put a couple quarters in, you get those 10, 15 balls thrown at you. It's Josh Comenter.
I used to like those pitching machines as opposed to the spinning tires, just the metal arm.
Yeah, that's why you were a pitcher.
That's a good point. That was awful. Grandal out on strikes. 6th strikeout tonight for Comenter. Josh Comenter only at 86 pitches.
Well, with 2 strikes, he goes in, and that has a little cutting action in there. So many different looks by Josh Comenter. It's not velocity, it's the changing. It's pitching different quadrants, different sides of the plate. Dominating performance.
The game's funny. So strange. The Diamondbacks 2-8 on their road trip. They lost 6 in a row.
Well, Mike, you can come off the road and you're home and you're energized because you're back home. You have the normalcy. Guys seeing their families and being back to normal, coming into that home clubhouse and getting a pitching performance like this tonight can help.
Well, I'm hoping your travel theory holds true tomorrow, because you always tell me that it's the second day after a long trip where the team feels flat. Diamondbacks coming back from Washington.
That's exactly right. Coming from the East Coast. 2 different time zones. That'll affect you. That's the reason why they say the dog days of August.
Really looking forward to seeing Andrew Cashner go tomorrow. So much anticipation there. 2 stints on the disabled list.
I see Andrew Cashner right there, and very comfortable in his last rehab outing in El Paso.
Mile high, nearly touches the roof here at Chase Field. And Inciarte will put it away, 2 down.
This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Tyson Ross, who was a hard luck loser to Clayton Kershaw last night. Andrew Cashner, 2 down. Here's Will Venable. Just an interesting note on Andrew Cashner. He has 12 starts. He has made 12 starts this season. The same number as young Jesse Hahn, who really opened some eyes and maybe a welcome addition to this rotation next season.
Well, I read some of the comments from Andrew Cashner, and he said, I want to show that I'm healthy, and that is a very important thing moving forward, because he has to prove that to not only Buddy Black, the manager of the Padres, Darren Balsley, and his teammates, to just stay healthy. No one wants to get hurt.
Well, Venable, the 2nd strikeout of the inning, and the 7th for Comenter, whose team leads 4-0. by Petco, the power of together. And by your San Diego Lexus dealer. Lovely night here in the desert. A cool by Arizona standards, 90 degrees. Chase Field, roof closed. And a quiet night offensively to this point for the Padres. New Padres pitcher, lefty Alex Torres. Appeared in 56 games, 2-1 record. Third run average of 2.64.
Yeah, Mike, and you see those reverse splits for the lefties, 250 average, the righties 213. That's because of that changeup mix at Alex Torres. But he'd like to improve on those numbers, especially against left-handers.
The command has plagued him. He'll face Trumbo, Montero, and Marte here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Well, you look at Trumbo's night, 1 for 3, but that RBI in the first, hustling down the line, is really a big difference maker in this game.
Well, you make a great point. Had he been thrown out, that would have been the 3rd out of the inning. And Peralta wouldn't have scored on his infield hit, and certainly Montero, who followed with a 2-run home run, that wouldn't have happened. But the Padres have yet to score, and really the bigger story has been Josh Colbenter. Colbenter, 8 innings, just the 2 hits allowed, hasn't walked anybody. He's struck out 7. 1-2 to Trumbo. Down low, count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gets Trumbo there off speed and changeup. But when he's right with the changeup, Torres is nasty.
Yeah, back-to-back changeups on Alex Torres right there on the strikeout by Trumbo. Just good arm speed coming out of that same slot as that fastball. That was a better changeup because it gave the appearance to Trumbo. It was that fastball location and ends up dropping off the table.
Now Montero, the 2-run home run, we'd mentioned that in the first inning. Arizona got to Odrisamer Despaigne for 3 in the first. Another in the second, and that's been all the scoring tonight here at Chase Field. Out to left field. Almonte back all the way to the wall. Can't make the play. It'll carry him off the wall. Venable will be up with it. And Montero is at second. Well, Almonte throws, almost came in at first. Then went back. And we'll get another look at it. He's unable to make the play.
Yeah, Mike, so much of it is reading the ball off the bat. Montero hits this pretty well, you could see, but the first step was very understood what Almonte was trying to do, and then he gets into an awkward position as an outfielder, trying to battle that. And that first step puts you in this position, tries to make that over-the-shoulder catch and into the wall.
We've seen Abraham have some trouble going back on balls. We saw it in center field with him, and some trouble on that ball off the bat of Montero. So that scored double. And with 1 out, here's Alfredo Marte.
So many times when you're playing center field, you can turn glove side and you can adjust a lot easier than on the corners. And for Almonte on that one, he turned glove side, but most balls tend to go to the foul line. You can see him trying to adjust late and then making an awkward attempt right at the wall.
Kind of that long slicing fly ball from a left-handed hitter.
Yeah, that's exactly what you got to do. So you have to really open up yourself if you're going to turn glove side. Make that adjustment with your body, but very different. It's a lot easier to catch fly balls in center field. You got to have the speed to play that position, but in left field, Not as easy as it looks with those different slicing fly balls off the left-handed bat. The hooking action from a right-hander.
That changeup again from Torres. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He continues to throw that good arm speed changeup. We saw the numbers against the right-handed hitters. That's the reason why. That's a difference maker.
That's been a long slog this season for the Diamondbacks. 18.5 games back in the West. 53-75 is the record.
Is that a late timeout or what?
No, Joe West is in the game a long time, and he is not going to hurry for any man. Not with his timeout call, not with his strike 3 call.
Well, if you had 37 years in the league, you would take your time too. You just don't want to put that starting that pitcher in a vulnerable position of stopping his delivery. That's how guys can get hurt that way. See if he goes to fastball in here. Yeah, nice pitch. See from our Fox Tracks by Southland Technology. Easy for me to say.
Remember, tomorrow 4:30, Padres Live, the pregame show. Andrew Kashner back on the mound against Fidel Nuno. A big right-hander. Healthy and ready to go. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Alfredo Marte.
Well, against Trumbo, he did back-to-back changeups. Let's see if he goes to the changeup again. Marte tends to expand the strike zone, especially with 2 strikes.
Two in right field. Marte has himself a base hit. In comes Smith, and he's up with it. And Montero will hold it third. So Marte aboard with a base hit. Buddy Black now sees his team having to defend runners at the corners with 1 down. That'll bring up the rookie, Jake Lamb. Lamb singled, scored a run in the second, and has struck out twice.
Oh, Mike, you go back to the night of Frank Garces. 2 innings tonight, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Fastball command on his glove side was a little suspect, but a solid outing again. His second outing after his first one at Dodger Stadium. Padres have to feel good about how this youngster has come up and thrown to this date.
Yeah, especially when you consider in front of a intimidating crowd at Dodger Stadium. Those 5 decks.
Yeah,
a little daunting.
It's a different atmosphere, and some guys have a difficult way because in the minor leagues you only have that, typically a single deck, not as many fans. That can be very intimidating, but it can also help some players as well.
Kind of elevate their intensity, perhaps.
Well, intensity and also that concentration level, because you don't want to embarrass yourself in the big league level. You know you've got to give an impression, as we see Randall Delgado in the Diamondbacks bullpen. But nice outing by Garces, especially against the left-handers tonight. He looked very comfortable, especially with that slider.
2-1 to Lamb. And the count even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Montero is at third base. Marte, the runner at first.
Well, Mike, when you get 2 strikes, this is the time where you got to work that ground ball, especially in the middle of the infield. Try to get that double play.
Lamb's hit into 2 of them in his 11 games in the big leagues. Now they really like this Lamb. I think he's going to be an outstanding major leaguer. 6'3", 220, just 23 years old. He gets in on him. Jerko, he'll try to get one at second. He will. They cannot turn the double play. And Montero comes in to score. It is a 5-0 Diamondbacks lead. That ball just not hit hard enough for Jerko to do much else with. And he gets Marte the short way at second.
Well, credit Torres for jamming Lamb, and you can see not the velocity on the ground ball, and that makes it very difficult to make that turn as Alexi tries to get there, but not enough. You see Torres, he made the pitch, but unfortunately Lamb gets jammed. How about that?
Gregorius, deep center field. Back goes Venable to the track. He makes a nice running play. A lot of real estate out there. 413 at the base of that wall. So Gregorius puts a charge into it. The Diamondbacks pick up another run. Been very good. Ender Inciarte, the fantastic play. And in this throw from David Peralta to get Alexi Amarista trying to get to third base, but right on the mark. Good young ball players in Diamondbacks uniforms, and they've performed tonight. They lead 5-0. Top of the 9th inning, and the starting pitcher, Josh Colmenter, with a shot at a complete game shutout. The Padres looking to spoil that. Tossed his first career complete game shutout May 29th against the Reds. Allowed 3 hits in that start against Cincinnati. He's allowed 2 so far tonight. Colmenter now marking 95 pitches.
Yeah, very economical. That's because of strike 1, and it's usually been that fastball getting ahead. A lot of guessing by the Padre hitters tonight, not staying with their plan, and the reason for that, he's changing speeds, he's changing different looks.
Sharply past the diving Gregorius, and Amarista has his second hit.
Well, you got to love the approach by Alexi Amarista. In this first at bat, he hits the changeup away. This is a fastball in, and he goes the other way, pulling his hands inside, getting it by Gregorius, which is a tough feat in itself, but nice approach by Alexi Amarista.
Yeah, Mike Harkey, the pitching coach, come out and talk things over with his right-hander. For Colbender, that's the first base runner he's allowed since the 3rd inning. And as they talk things over on the mound, Tommy Medica will be the Padres pinch hitter. Tommy provides I think an interesting question for the Padres going forward. Young hitter, good pop. Did you see the pitch counts? And Mark, I think your word economical. Spot on.
Yeah, and you know what? He's doing it with a variety of different pitches, different sequences to the Padre hitters. And you can see velocity is not always the key if you're a young pitcher out there. So many kids try to throw as hard as they can, and you can see locating is very effective.
Tommy having a rough trip on the road, 1 for 16. Be a nice time to snap out of the funk. Padres trail 5-0.
Yeah, Mike, he looks like he hasn't been the same since he took that fastball in the back of the head in Pittsburgh, and that was a tough time. And when you get hit like that, he was dazed and went through a phase where he had to sit out a little bit. He has not been the same since.
No, you can't blame him. It'd shake you up for sure. That pitch that hit him in that series in Pittsburgh in the back of the head cracked his helmet. He said after the game right away he felt fine, but show me an athlete who says they don't feel fine.
Yeah, and I think you're going to get that from everybody. You're going to say you're okay, but you see the changeup by Cole Mentor trying to expand the strike zone. Seen a lot of great things from Tommy Medica. He had a great spring training. Went through a phase at the beginning where he wasn't getting definite playing time, which was an adjustment in itself. But I love the intent that he has. He has to cut down his swing at times. There's been some really nice things that Tommy Medica has shown with the experience that he's had. There's a changeup, just fouling it off.
Tommy 7 for 30 as a pinch hitter. He has a home run, 3 RBIs. Now you made your living as one of the best pinch hitters in the game, and you did it from a young age on, but you don't see a lot of young hitters who break into the big leagues as pinch hitters.
Yeah, and the reason for that is they're so used to playing every day or playing at least 4 or 5 starts a week in the minor leagues. These are guys that have had a lot of success in the minor leagues.
And a 2-2 with Cole Mentor gets past Medica, so Tommy strikes out. 1 down here at the top of the 9th.
Well, just another changeup. Try to work the corners, and then he goes right down the middle. And the side swing, you see the length of Tommy Medica's swing just underneath the baseball.
8 strikeouts now for Cole Mentor. And with an out, and Alexi Amarista aboard at first base. Here's the leadoff hitter, Yangervis Solarte.
You see the amount of pitches, excuse me, Mike, 105 pitches to Clemente. He's given himself an opportunity to finish this game.
Solarte softly into center field.
I think that might be his last hitter.
So Amarista base hit, then Solarte a base hit. The Padres have runners at first and second. Kurt Gibson. And his team thinking about it. And out comes Gibson. He'll go to the pen. So Gibson not exactly going to talk it over. He's not going to negotiate with Clemente. He motions to the pen right away. Harkey had already gone out in the inning, so Gibson knew had he gone out there was only one play that could be made, and that'll do it for Josh Clemente. Diamondbacks lead by 5, with the Padres threatening in the ninth. He'd go 8 1/3 and strike out 8 Padres. Doesn't walk anybody, Mark, and he was really in command all night.
All night on both sides of the plate. Very aggressive with the fastball early and the changeup late. Awkward swings by the Padres. A lot of guessing. And a great night by Clemente. And for the Diamondbacks, their plan was, with no pen in between starts, to give him a little more rest. Clemente in that scenario paid off.
So the new Diamondbacks pitcher here with 1 out in the ninth is former Padre Matt Stites. And first pitch hacking. They'll go to second for 1, back to first, unable to turn the double play. Almonte legging it out, but Solarte cut down, 2 out.
Well, at first I thought this was going to get through. A nice job by Trumbo going to his right, and a good feed by Gregorius. And that strong arm. Almonte getting down the line.
Stick around, folks. Padres Live, the postgame show with Chris Button and Mark Loretta. Immediately following us and following them, a brand new Padres POV behind the scenes of the San Diego Padres. And what you hear might surprise you. 2 outs, 2 on. His ball gets past Montero, and the Padres are on the board. They'll steal a run. Amarista comes home to score. It's a 5-1 ball game.
Yeah, I think Montero is frustrated himself because he wanted that shutout. You see Stites taking that fastball that had a lot of action on this ball, but Montero has to catch this. For the benefit of the Padres, they get on the board.
So San Diego able to avoid the shutout. Very small consolation if they can't come all the way back here. It's Seth Smith. Skied to shallow left field, and Marte will put it away. So the pass ball is the Padres on the board. They lose 5-1 here at Chase Field, the first game of a 3-game set. Let's get you back to San Diego for Padres Live. Here's Chris Buck. Chris?